What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. This video I'm going to be breaking down super in-depth how to get started flipping land from your laptop. So virtually flipping land so you don't actually have to go out to the property, you don't actually have to put any money into the deals, and you can be making $8,000 to $10,000 profit on every single one of these land deals that you're closing. And how my brother and I scaled our business to doing over 200 deals per year. We did over 230 deals last year, land deals, just like I'm about to explain to you here, totaling over $1.7 million in profit, and we've taught over 100 people to close their first deal. So for those of you that are new here, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel down below. And without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into everything. So what am I going to be showing you here? I am going to be breaking down the complete vacant land wholesale system, the exact same system that scaled our business from nothing to over $5 million in profit over the past 3 years, a little over 3 years now. And I'm gonna break it down step by step. So even if you're a beginner, even if you have no experience in real estate, you are able to learn from what I'm teaching you here and get started right away. So again, you're gonna learn the strategies of how we're wholesaling vacant land to home builders without using your own capital, without having to get funding, without having to have a real estate license. All that stuff, I'm gonna break it down for you here. So what is land flipping? And more specifically, what is virtual land flipping? Because we're not doing typical land flipping. We're not actually putting $20,000 into a property and flipping it for 25. We're putting $0 into a property, flipping it to a home builder for 25, getting it at 20, and we net $5,000 putting $0 into it. Sounds pretty interesting, right? Right. So land flipping is a streamlined real estate strategy focused on connecting motivated land sellers with ready-to-build home builders like a D.R. Horton, like a Lennar Homes. These builders that are buying thousands and thousands of lots per year, these are the people we're going to be connecting with. Instead of buying and selling the actual property, you're simply flipping the contract for a piece of vacant land. So the first thing that you're doing in the process is you're going to identify and find a piece of vacant land. What you want to be looking for is an empty lot that's next to a lot of new construction. Show you how to look for that on a free website that every single one of you guys has access to, and how to find a perfect parcel that a builder will be looking for. I'll show you guys in this video. The second thing you need to learn how to do is secure a purchase contract. So the way that we structure these contracts is, this is very important. So you can't do the whole process without having the correct contract. You need to make sure that you have an assignable purchase of sale agreement. That contract being assignable means that you can get that property under contract, then assign that property to a home builder so you can make a profit. So if you have a property at $80,000, you can go find a builder at $100 and net the whole $20,000 difference. So hope that makes sense for you guys. And then the next thing is you need to learn how to assign it to a builder, which is super simple. I'm gonna break it down for you here in this video, and you'll know exactly how to assign your deals to a builder. It's a simple email or a text. You just need to know how to find them. And then last, you're going to collect your profit. This is through a title company, which I will break down, and you're going to earn a fee just for connecting the seller with the buyer. So you're saving the seller realtor fees and closing costs. The buyer pays the closing costs, by the way, with the title company. So they're happy to sell to you, and you're getting it done quickly. So the seller's happy in the deal. You're getting a buyer deal below market value, and you are acting as the middleman, collecting the profit in between. So on average, over the past 3 years, we've done over 751 deals. We're making just over $8,200 in profit per deal. So that's about $6.15 million in revenue. Over the past 3 years, we just crossed $5 million in profit. We're at like 5.2 million now. Doing exactly what I'm about to show you here. So let's continue on. So who are we? My name is Carson. My brother Jackson and I are running this business together. We have been. We are brothers. I'm 22 years old. He's 25 years old. And like I said, we've been running this for about 40 months. We've closed just over 750 deals, profited just over 5 million. Last year, we did 239 deals, profiting over $1.7 million in profit. It's the same methods that are based on real world results. It's a proven, repeatable process that has enabled individuals to achieve results. We have over 6 people that have made over $100,000 a month taking the exact same system and replicating it, which is pretty insane. $100,000 a month in profit. So what I'm going to show you here is going to be valuable education on a system that is working today in 2025. Real quick, I will pull up a screenshot for you guys to show you that we're still closing deals today. Today is October 7th. Got this wire yesterday on October 6th. So we got this wire. So today is October 6th. We got this wire yesterday from D.R. Horton, one of the biggest builders in the country. They buy over 90,000 lots a year. This wire is dated October 6th, if you can see that. And then it is a $7,251 wire that we got paid out yesterday. So we're still closing, $7,000 deals, and those deals don't take too much work, which you're going to see. It takes about an hour or two of work to close a deal like that. So, and earnings disclaimer, as I'm saying that we have students making this amount of money, results vary based on effort, market conditions, and individual execution. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Obviously, some people will actually take action on this and some people won't. So obviously, not everybody can be successful. So I wanted to get into something. I wanted to get into a business. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to have my own thing. I didn't want to have a boss. I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. Same thing with my older brother. And there are all these business opportunities you see online. E-commerce, Amazon FBA, Airbnb arbitrage, trading, cryptocurrency, Section 8, all this stuff. But there's tons of different things that go into it and a ton of different headaches. And the margins aren't nearly as high as what I'm about to show you here. So e-commerce, you have competition, you have inventory, you have slim margins, and you have to manage your entire process, and there's a ton of things that can go wrong. You have to actually supply products over from China or wherever you're having your suppliers come from. Your margins are like 20%. So even if you have a month where you do great and you make $25,000, $30,000, right? You're only walking away with about $4,000 or $5,000 plus refunds and all the other stuff you're gonna have to deal with. Trading, you need a good amount of money to start with, because even if you're making 1% a day, you need to have over $100,000 in that trading account to be making 30 grand a month. So, and then cryptocurrency is kind of just like gambling. Sure, people have made tons of money in cryptocurrency if they invested into Bitcoin in 2008, but that's not the case with a lot of people, right? They're just kind of gambling with crypto. And then Airbnb arbitrage, you still need to have a lot of money to get into that business. You need to pay first, last security deposit. You need to pay for the furniture. You need to pay for an interior designer, and you have to deal with the rent if you're not renting it out, because you don't start out as a super host, which most people don't tell you. And then with Section 8, you need to have money to invest as well, because you need to actually purchase those properties. Then you're only cash flowing a few $100s a month, even if you invest $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. So all of these models weren't an option for me. They weren't an option for my brother. And we had to figure something else out, which we found out about real estate wholesaling. So typical real estate wholesaling, which maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't, maybe you're already doing real estate wholesaling and you're having struggles because it's not great. And maybe you want to expand your business, or maybe you want to add in land to what you're already doing. Or maybe you've just heard about real estate wholesaling, but you've never actually done it. So if you've tried wholesaling houses before, you know the pain. The residential market has become brutally competitive, and most beginners will burn out before they ever close their first deal. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this video have tried to wholesale houses, not succeeded, and basically given. Well, I hope that this video can change your mindset, and I hope that you can get into something else that will be a lot easier for you, and you don't give up on this, because anybody can do this, what I'm about to show you. Anybody can do what I'm about to show you here. So it's an oversaturated market. Everybody's chasing the same distressed houses. These buyers don't really buy repeat houses. They're buying 2 or 3 flips a year because that's all their bankroll can hold. Where these big builders and buyers, they're literally hedge funds. They make like $46 billion a year. I just looked up D.R. Horton that just purchased that lot from us the other day. They're buying thousands of lots every single month. They need to hit their quotas, and that's where you come in, is you bring them lots below market value that match up their terms, and they're happy to work with you over and over again. And these sellers are getting hammered over and over again, and they're emotional because they live in the house, or they have a family member that's lived in the house. They've had this property in their family for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they don't want to sell their home. With land, it's the complete opposite, which you guys will see. So all these things are just killing your profits with wholesaling houses. You have massive marketing costs because you have to do direct mail, Google ads, and SEO. And a lot of people tell me they're spending $5,000 to $10,000 per month before they see a few leads or just a single deal. You're grinding 60 hours a week just to compete with everybody else doing the exact same thing. So maybe some of you guys watching this in that spot right now, or maybe if you haven't, that's what's going on with wholesaling houses with a lot of these things. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of money to be made in wholesaling houses, and there are a lot of deals to be made. That's why this whole business model sparked my brother and I's interest, because we're like, holy crap, we can make $25,000, $30,000 on the deal without owning it, without putting any money up, and we can repeat the process over and over again. Sign me up, right? That's what real estate wholesaling is. There's just headaches that go into houses. Failed appraisals. So you get a deal almost to the finish line, then you have an inspection go wrong. You have structural issues. You have sewage issues. It's just stuff you don't want to deal with. You want to just make it as easy as possible for yourself, especially when you're trying to do this virtually, which is the key to having freedom. You can make all the money in the world, but if you're tied to an office, if you're tied to working 9 to 5 every single day, then you don't have freedom. You may have financial freedom, but you don't have time and location freedom, which I would argue is more important in the long run. But let's move on. There's a better way. So if you're in that situation where you don't know what business you want to get into, you're in a different business, trying another business, but you're failing. You're in real estate wholesaling, stuck at $10K a month, stuck at 20K a month and you want to expand your business, or you've never actually taken the leap to jump into real estate wholesaling or jump into real estate whatsoever, and you just want to get into real estate, there's a better way, and I'm here to show you. So thank you for tuning in today. I'm going to give you some information that hopefully will change your life, and I know some people on this video will change their life with the information that I'm giving you here. This is a complete system that eliminates the grind, cuts your marketing costs, and gives you back your time. So I hope that sounds exciting for every single one of you guys, because it's getting me fired up teaching you guys about this business model right now, because I've seen it change 100 people's lives, and I know that some of you guys watching this video, it will change your life today. I will show you how to generate consistent, high-quality real estate leads, which will lead you to closing profitable real estate deals day one. So this is why land flipping changes everything. So everybody thinks that you need to focus on houses. People kind of just ignore vacant land, and they always have, until my brother and I got into it about 3 years ago, and now we're kind of teaching people about it, which I will explain why. This is a completely different opportunity that is simpler, more profitable, and can be done from anywhere as long as you have your laptop. You don't have to deal with repairs or renovations. It's just, there's nothing to fix. There's nothing else that goes into it. If a builder bought a lot 3 lots over from yours, he's most likely willing to purchase yours as well. There's no tenants to deal with. There's no inspections. And these sellers are logical. Not only are they logical, the way we're reaching out to these sellers is they've had these properties in their family for 50 years, but it's not a house. They've had no intention for it. They paid extremely cheap. They want to just profit and get out of it, and they're sick of paying the taxes. And they don't know how to sell their land. A lot of people don't know how to sell vacant land. Heck, I didn't know how to sell vacant land. Now we've done hundreds of deals, so of course I do, and I think everybody else does. But people in the normal economy don't know how to liquidate vacant land. We come in with a quick cash offer, a 30-day close, and they're happy to get it done. And they're happier than we are in the long run. We profit $10,000 on a deal. We offer a seller 50 grand on a lot they paid 5 grand for. They just made 45 grand. We made 10. We get the builder a lot. Everybody wins. It's a win-win. It's not like house wholesaling where you're trying to rip off an old lady, and it's not a repeatable process. It's just, you can't really turn that into a real repeatable business. So, like I said, it's 100% virtual. All you need is your laptop. My brother and I have closed deals while we've been in Tulum, Mexico, that are over in Florida and Georgia and North Carolina and Arizona. We've been over in Dubai closing deals over in Florida. We've been in Texas closing deals that are over in Colorado. Like, we've been doing this from everywhere. All you need is your laptop and your phone, and you can be closing deals wherever. And you can be doing it while working 1 to 2 hours per day. Yes, 1 to 2 hours per day. And it's not just theory, it is a proven system. So maybe if it was just my brother and I, we've closed 50 deals over a couple months, you'd be like, you know what? Maybe you guys just got lucky. Maybe you just closed another deal. But I don't think that it's just luck. After closing over 700 deals, teaching over 100 people to close their first deal, we have truly found an opportunity where the competition is minimal, margins are high, and the entire process can be automated and scaled from anywhere in the world. And I'm going to give you the complete system, and the system is ready to be implemented today in 2025. I just showed you I made $7,000 yesterday doing what I'm about to show you here. So if we found a gold mine, then why are we giving it up to you? If I was in your shoes and I was trying to learn about a new business model, I would be like, hey, you found this gold mine. You made $5 million, Carson. Why are you going to teach me? Well, we were fortunate enough to make a lot of money flipping land that we now have over $20 million in active real estate developments. And I'm not just going to write that down on a PowerPoint. I will give you the addresses. 826 Magnolia Court. We have listed for $7.5 million. The renderings, it's about to be completed. And 983 Sundrop Court, we have listed for $15.9 million, picking up 2 more right now as we speak. So we are sharing our system so that we can get more land to build on, because yes, we make a lot of money flipping land. Each one of these projects will be over 7-figure paydays. So if we can stack up a few more of those, that's what we're trying to do here. So we want basically an army of people that can find land for us so that they can bring us the best deals to build on, and we can make more 7-figure profit deals, right? While we continue to run our land flipping business and partner with students and split the deals. That's our goal. So right now, we're buying about 5 to 10 lots a month from our students in our community because they have the correct terms, they're using the proper contracts, they're comping the correct way. And we're buying a lot of deals from our students as well as getting deals from them to develop in the future. So that's why we're teaching you this here is we want to build more properties. We want to buy and hold more land. And we want to partner with you on more deals. So that takes you learning how to do this properly. So that's why we're teaching you everything that I'm going to show you. The 6 simple steps. Here are the 6 simple steps to flipping land. Okay, so I will break it down in 6 steps. So I hope you're taking notes if you're ready to get started, and I will go ahead and jump into everything. Step 1, You need to find your market. This will take you 5 minutes. You're going to scroll on a completely free website, Zillow.com. You can see here. Finding profitable markets is easier than you think. We use Zillow, free tool you already know, to find the hot land markets and where builders are actively buying. Here's the process. You go to Zillow, go to any city or county in the United States. And a lot of people have this misconception, like I said earlier, you do this completely virtually from anywhere in the world. So if you're from, I don't know, Port Charlotte, Florida, you don't have to wholesale in your backyard in Port Charlotte, Florida. But hint, that's a really good market you should. That's why it came to mind. But you don't have to do it in your neighborhood. You don't have to do it in your backyard. You can do it, if you're from Port Charlotte, Florida, you can do it in Gilbert, Arizona. You can do it in Surprise, Arizona. You can do it wherever you want, okay? So you filter by lots and land, change property type to land only, okay? Change property type to land only, and then filter it to sales last 90 days. What you're going to be seeing is you're going to be seeing yellow dots throughout your entire screen, okay? You're gonna zoom out, scroll around, and look for a concentrated clump of yellow dots. Now, what does that mean? I'm looking at yellow dots. No, what that means is that if you find a clump of 20 yellow dots in a small neighborhood in the last 90 days, that means that's a hot land market for you to get into. There's already 20 sales happening every 3 months. That's where you're going to target. So you're gonna look for these yellow clusters. These yellow clusters are recent sales, and a dense cluster means that there is active builder demand. And the way that you confirm what I'm telling you here is you go to for sale instead of sold now, go to for sale, then you're going to select houses, then click on the more section, scroll down, click on 2023 or newer built houses, and this is going to show you concentrated areas of actual new construction. So before it was vacant land sales, now this will show you the actual new construction. So if we go to an area and there's 20 new houses there, A, we can click on it, find the builder, and call their phone number. Or B, we know which area to hit because there's 20 new house builds in the area. Right, guys? And what you're looking for multiple recent sales. When you see 5 to 10 yellow dots in the same area, that is your signal to go into the market. It means builders are actively acquiring land to develop homes. And that doesn't mean that they were doing it 2 years ago. That doesn't mean they were doing it in 2020. That means that they were doing it in the last 90 days. They are buying now. They are buying right now, right this second. In growing suburbs. So you want to focus on areas that are about 20 to, this is incorrect, it should be about an hour to an hour and a half outside of major cities. These are the sweet spots where builders expand as cities grow outward. So as these areas become more concentrated in hot real estate states, for example, Florida, for example, Arizona, you hear me keep mentioning them. You can't find much land out in Miami. You can't find much land out in Tampa. But once you expand outwards, those are those hot markets where we've seen huge success. And these builders that are building, $350,000 to $600,000 homes, that's the price point where we've really seen with these big builders where they're buying a ton of land. So we're just leveraging market research that has already been conducted by the builders. We're just seeing where they're actively building. We're seeing where the lots are selling, and that's what we're going into. We're letting the market tell us where to go. We're not coming up with these new areas because we think it's going to be good. We're not coming up with these areas off of a hypothesis. We see where the builders are going and we jump into it. We think of all of this logic. Next, you're going to pull your list. So once you've identified a hot market, it's time to pull your list of potential sellers. So you know where you're going to go into. Now you need to think, who am I going to reach out to? You mentioned motivated sellers. You mentioned people that have owned it for 50 years. You mentioned people that would be likely to sell, right? Well, we use this website called PropStream.com. There's a link down below in the description for PropStream. I think it gives you a 7 or a 30-day free trial. I'm not exactly sure, but PropStream's amazing. It's made us millions of dollars. Highly recommend it. We use the $199 a month plan. It gives you 50,000 polls, 50,000 exports per month. So worth it. Back in the day, we were paying thousands and thousands of dollars for that data. You don't need it, but highly recommend PropStream if you want to take this to a high level. Here's the filters you want to do on PropStream. You're pulling your area. So let's say, for example, we're going into that area I told you, Port Charlotte. You want to make sure you've just selected vacant land, because once you pull that filter, it's going to say 239,000 properties. Holy crap. What do I do with these 239,000 properties? Here's what you do. Switch the filter to vacant land. Okay, so it dials it down. There's no more houses. There's no more multifamily. There's no more commercial properties. It's just going to be vacant land. All right. Owned 5+ years. You can play around with this. You can make it 10 years. You can make it 20 years. You can make it 30 years. How aggressive you want to get with your list, that's completely up to you. That's where the fun comes in this. I think it's fun. For anybody that's going to get into this and see the money that you're going to be making, it's going to be fun when you're pulling these lists because you're going to know how much money you're about to make in the end. But anyways, individual owners. Exclude corporations and LLCs. Why are we doing that? Because we don't want to reach out to builders to sell the property, and we don't want to reach out to savvy investors. We want to reach out to individuals that either got it passed down in the family or have owned it for a while that have zero intention to do with these properties. Because we want it to be somebody that's okay with selling this property. We want it to be somebody that has no intention for the property, right? That's what we're looking for here. And typically, these infill lots, these scattered lot campaigns that these builders are buying are about 0.25 to 1 acre, okay? About 0.25 to 1 acre. It's a perfect size for single family homes. And then make sure that they've owned less than 3 properties. So this means that that individual owner that owns this piece of vacant land for over 5 years, that has the exact acreage, that's perfect for a builder, owns less than 3 properties, so it's one of their only properties that, again, probably got passed down and they've owned it for a while, and they're not a builder, they're not a savvy investor or anything like that, they would be willing to sell. And one more thing that I didn't mention here, you want to make sure it's off market. You want to make sure it's off market, and this is super important that a lot of people don't understand. Something that's on the market, yes, you can make deals like that. It's a very good way to make free deals, which I've made videos on in the past. But if you want to take this to a high level as quickly as possible, I highly recommend getting into off market. So when you're selling an off-market deal, nobody else has seen the deal. You're the first one to get your hands on it. You have a way better chance of negotiating. And then when you give it to a builder, they're the first person that's laid eyes on it. They're like, yes, I want to take it, or no, I don't want to take it because of this. But they will most likely say yes if they tell you a price and you find them one. If you send them an on-market deal, you say, hey, here's a deal. They say, hey, I've already seen that deal. It has 400 views on Zillow. Me and all my buddies, me and every single other investor in the country has seen that deal and passed up on it. We don't want it, right? Typically, if there's a lot that's been sitting on the market for 40, 50, 100, 150 days, a lot of these people that are sending me over these lots, nobody wants it for a reason, right? There's something wrong with the property. It's listed too high. Either you're going to have to offer half of what it's listed for. It's listed for 50, you offer 25. Then you'll probably be able to sell it to an investor or a builder. But your on-market properties are going to have a lot harder of a time to sell than off-market. You can absolutely still make deals. We've made deals. We've taught other students to close tons of deals like that. But off-market is going to be game changer. Trust me. Next, you want to get phone numbers for your list, okay? PropStream gives you the names and addresses, but you need the phone numbers to search the sellers. This is where kind skip tracing comes in. So if you get that plan on PropStream, that's $199 a month, that will include 50,000 skip traces. So if you get that plan, it's going to save you money. You don't have to do kind skip tracing. But if you skip trace on kind skip tracing, I believe it is 3 cents per skip. So if you're skip tracing 5,000 records, it'll be $150. If you're skip tracing 10,000 records, it'll be $300. But if you get that PropStream plan, you can get it all included for $199. But what this is going to do, what skip tracing means, is to get the actual phone numbers for the sellers of the list that we just pulled. So that list just got dialed down from 239,000 to 2,000. Then before we actually reach out and market to them, we want to get their phone numbers so we can go ahead and use this strategy, which I will show you, which is 51 times return right now. We spend $1,000 on this marketing channel. We get 51 times return back, which is insane right now. Now, here is what that is. This approach allows for mass outreach. Instead of spending weeks cold calling, you send a simple text message sent by AI to message 500 to 5,000 landowners at once. SmarterContact.com is a bulk texting platform that lets you reach hundreds of sellers in minutes. There is a link below this video for $200 off the 50,000 texts a month plan. That 50,000 texts a month plan can scale you to $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month in profit. We've seen it happen time and time again. Our students are doing it right now on the same plan. That's the plan we use. Code Jackson200 saves you $200 off if you go ahead and use it. But we send them messages just like this. Hi, Glenda. I'm interested in your land on 123 Southwest Street. Are you open to selling? If so, what's your best price? Something simple just like this. You would be shocked how many deals we close off of these simple messages. And a lot of these deals, those of you that don't like to make calls, those of you that don't like to cold call, those of you that are a little bit shy, I get it. Not everybody's an extrovert. Not everybody likes to get on the phone and make calls. Not everybody likes to speak like me and talk on these videos, right? You can literally just text them. They would respond back and say 50K. You text them back, no 40. And then they say, okay, deal. You say, what's your email? Get their email, send them the contract, send it to the builder on email, send it to the title company, you're done. You can email and text, get through this whole game and be making 50, 60, 80K a month. I'm not kidding you. You can be making $1 million a year sending a few text messages and emails if you do this properly, which is insane. It's absurd and it's unheard of. And I haven't really seen it in any other business model. That's why it gets me so fired up. But anyways, yes, that's the entire message. It's simple, direct, and effective. You're not trying to sell them on anything. You are trying to buy something from them. And you need to understand this is the reason why it works so well is your approach is you're helping these sellers. You are truly helping these sellers, and you're helping the buyer, and you are doing good work, ethical work that is helping connect a seller and a buyer. When you're doing typical real estate wholesaling, like I said, you're typically trying to rip somebody off. You're trying to get an old lady's property. Typically, this is how it works, and it's a terrible thing, but you're trying to get an old lady's property that's worth $150,000 fixed up for $20,000, flip it to an investor for 50. He puts 50 grand of work in. You make 30 grand. The seller only gets 20 for the property. You make 30 grand. The investor makes 50 grand after they fix it up for 50 and flip it. And you're not really helping or adding value or doing anything. You're just getting a property, lowballing them, and getting it for pennies on the dollar, and then selling it cheap to an investor. What we're doing here is we're offering the seller to avoid, on land, typically 8 to 10% in closing costs. So if it's a $50,000 lot, they're avoiding 8% in closing costs. That's $4 grand off the bat, okay? They're saving $4,000 plus $2,000 in closing costs. They're already saving $6,000. So even if I offer them $40,000, sell it to the builder at 46, let's say market value is 50, builder gets it at 46, seller gets 40, they avoided those fees, and it closes in 30 days. If they list it on the market, no good agent wants to list a cheap property on the market. They would rather list a $5 million house because they make 3% commission. They'd rather make 150 grand than make 1,500 bucks on a 50 grand lot. So you're not going to find typically a good agent to list land for you. So it's going to sit on the market, it's going to be listed too high, and you're not going to sell that for 12, 13, 14 months. Maybe they need to liquidate their land for whatever reason. Maybe they need to make a car payment. Maybe they need to do something, and you're the only one that can help them out and get that done. You're adding value in this situation. That's why this has been repeatable. That's why this has been scalable, and you can sell 10, 15, 20 deals a month to the same builder. We've done over 37 deals in 1 month before, flipping these lots to builders. We've done over $500,000 in profit in 1 month alone before, doing exactly what I'm showing you here. So what happens after you send the text messages? So days 1 and 2 after the campaign, the text campaign is sent automatically using AI. You get immediate responses. You can see exactly what the prices they're asking. You can see exactly who wants to sell. You can call them up if you want. You can text them back. You will get a deal. If you're doing this properly, you can absolutely get a deal on your first day of sending campaigns. If you go onto my Instagram, click on the results section, there's probably some people in there that close deals on their first campaign sent out. It's absolutely insane when you're doing this properly. Closing deals within your first week, closing deals in the bank within your first couple of weeks. We had a student spend $0 in marketing, get $9,500 back in profit in his first month doing this, and he spent $0 in marketing and no LLC, which is crazy. But days 1 and 2, you can already be closing deals, lining them up in escrow. The efficiency of this is unmatched. So what we're doing with this mass texting is we can reach out to 5,000 people per day. 5,000 people per day using AI, where if you were manually calling these sellers, that would take you months. So a lot of these people that I talk to that are struggling and not closing deals, they say, hey Carson, I've been calling and hammering the phones for months and months and I haven't closed a deal. Like, I don't think this is legit. And I'm like, how many people have you called over the past couple of months? I don't know, 150? I'm like, I just reached out to 5,000 in 5 minutes today. Like, you're not going to be able to compete with somebody that's using systems and softwares like that if you're trying to compete in the same industry, right? You need to be going with the times. If there's something that can help if you can reach 1 million people in a month using what I'm doing, and you're reaching 45 people in a month, who's going to make more deals, right? It's just a numbers game. So then you negotiate with these sellers. That'll take you about an hour. When a seller responds with interest, your goal is simple. You offer them 60 to 75% of market value. That gives you room to mark up the property and sell it to a builder for a profit. Here's how the conversation goes. Let's say they want $40,000 for a piece of land. It's already a good deal. You respond with, sounds good. I'm looking to close quickly and pay cash. Would you do $35,000? They say yes or no. Then you counter. Let's say, for example, they agree to $38,000 and you agree to that price. Now you're under contract at $38,000 for a property technically worth $50,000, even though I told you they're gonna have to pay realtor fees, closing costs, gonna take a year on the market. Those aren't selling, so they get an offer at 90% of ask. Either way, they're going to probably walk away with $38,000 if it's out there for a year. That's what you explain to them. That's why they want to sell it to you. Then you sell it to a builder for $45,000. So $45,000 minus $38,000. You pocket the entire $7,000 in profit. There's no other fees. The builder is paying the closing costs. You pocket the whole $7,000 in profit. Then you send out the contract. Once you agree on a price, it's time to make it official, right? And how do you do that? You send out a contract. This is so much simpler than you guys would think. You get the purchase of sale agreement contract, the assignable purchase of sale agreement contract. You have it in your DocuSign, okay? You have it in your DocuSign, and then you send it over to their email address, or you can send it to their phone number. You fill in the details. The details on the seller contract will include property address, purchase price, closing date, typically 30 to 45 days. Some builders will do 20. And you send it via DocuSign. The seller will sign it electronically. They don't need to print it or mail it. They can just click sign, print name, finish, and then it'll send back over to you. Now you're in a contract. Now you have control of the property without owning it, which is crazy. This contract gives you the right to sell the property to someone else before closing. That's the key to wholesaling. You never actually buy the land yourself. You just control it long enough to find a buyer. But with land, you're not terminating and backing out on 9 out of 10 of these deals. Most of these deals, if you're comping correctly, almost every single one of them will go through. If you have a builder say, hey, anything that's not on a main road, that's out of a flood zone, I will buy at $40,000. So you know anything that you can do to find anything that you can find at $35,000 with those criteria, you're going to make $5,000 every single time. So you can get aggressive on terms. That's how you get all these deals with these sellers. You can say I'll close in 30 days because the buyer's already telling that. You can say we're going to put a $1,000 earnest money deposit down because the buyer's going to put that down, right? So they tell you exactly what to put on your own contract and how to negotiate with these sellers. And if they say they'll pay $40,000, this is exactly how my brother started out. So my brother started this out about 2 months before I did. And he was sending out real estate house wholesaling campaigns, trying to wholesale houses because he heard about this idea. And he's sending out campaigns. Somebody responded and said, I don't want to sell my property, but I want to buy lots. I'll buy 20 lots a month. Can you find me some? And he said, lot? What the hell are you talking about, lot? What do you mean lot? And what he did is he called up that guy. That guy ended up being a big builder. He was buying 20 to 30 lots a month, in fact, and he wasn't kidding. My brother found him. The next day, my brother sent a campaign. He locked up, I believe, 7 deals at an average spread of about $5,500. He made $38,000 in profit off of one campaign in one day because the builder said he would pay $40,000. He would go lock it up at 35. He'd make $5,000. He'd go lock it up at 32. He'd make $8,000. He'd go lock it up at 37. He'd make $3,000. It didn't matter what he locked the seller up at. He just knew that any margin that he had in between, he was going to make that entire difference to email one contract to a builder and a title company, which is insane. And that's why I hope this is running through your head, guys. The opportunity that is here at your feet, it's absolutely unheard of. But yeah, that's what that contract gives you the right to do. Step 5, you find a builder to pay more. So now that you have control of the property at $38,000, you need to find a builder willing to pay more. So let's say $45,000. That $7,000 difference is your profit. Here's exactly how to find these buyers. Okay, guys, there's a few different ways. One way, go back to Zillow. Search for homes built in 2023 or 2024 within 5 miles of your land. Look for new construction subdivisions. Find the builder's name. Click on homes. Scroll the listing agent or builder name. Google them to get their phone number, or it'll show you there. Call them up and say, hey, builder, my name is Carson. I have a lot in your area. Do you want to purchase it for $45,000 plus closing? They tell you yes or no. These big builders have acquisition teams. So don't feel scared. Don't feel like you don't want to reach out to these people. They literally have specific people in place to call and answer and purchase lots. That's literally their full-time job. When you're buying 91,000 lots a year, you have people in place to help with those things. So guys, don't feel uncomfortable making these calls. Don't feel weird calling and offering to sell these properties. It's a common thing. And now the times are going on and more people are learning about this. It's way more common than you would expect. So that's how you find the builder. It's actually super simple. You can literally Google it if you want. So if you're in Port Charlotte, Florida, I'm not kidding you. Do a Google search right now. Look up Port Charlotte, Florida, scattered lot home builders, phone number, and you will find all their phone numbers. Go on ChatGPT, Port Charlotte, Florida, scattered lot home builders with phone number. You can call up all those builders, email them, text them, get their criteria. So why builders always need land? Home builders are consistently and constantly searching for land. It's their number one bottleneck. They have the crews, capital, and demand, but finding good lots is hard, and they have to buy them off the market through agents. They're already paying out agents thousands of dollars. Now they're just going to pay you thousands of dollars and get it below market value. You're going to be their best friend. I'm not kidding you. These builders text us every single day. Hey, Carson. Hey, Jackson. Do you have more land? Do you have more land? Do you have more lots? Can I buy more lots? I'm trying to buy more lots at 40. I'm trying to buy more lots at 42. Okay, you don't have any at 42. Can I bump it up to 44 so you can bring them to me? I'm not kidding you. This happens every single day. When you get a good relationship with a builder and when you're bringing them the correct deals, they want to buy from you over and over again. And you're not competing with many other wholesalers here. You're solving a real problem for these builders. That's why this business works so well. You're the connector between someone that doesn't want their land anymore and somebody who desperately needs that land. You're connecting the dots and you're making thousands of dollars a day in between for doing so. Builders will pay $5,000 to $10,000 more because it saves them months of searching and negotiating. You're providing speed and convenience. And not only $5,000 to $10,000 more, it's still $5,000 to $10,000 below market value because you're bringing it below market value. It's just $5,000 to $10,000 more than what you have it under contract with the seller for. You're providing speed and convenience, and they're busy building, like I said, thousands of houses per year. We're building 2 right now, and it's already a lot of work. I can't even imagine building 90,000 houses in a year. They are so caught up and tied up with time. That's why they have these acquisition teams in place to talk to people like you, to talk to people like me, and find their land deal. And then the last step, it's my favorite step, it's gonna be your favorite step, is to just get paid in 2 to 3 weeks. So once you have a builder who agrees to buy at your price, it's time to close both sides of the deal, right? So you have both contracts, but you haven't gotten paid yet. This is called an assignment, and it happens at a title company. You don't need to understand all the legal details. The title company handles all of this. They have title insurance. They make sure everything goes through smoothly. They run the title search. They do the doc stamps. They make sure that the title is clean. They make sure there's no liens on the property. So when you send both contracts to title in an email, you're going to send the contract at $38,000 and your contract with the builder at $45,000. Then you're going to schedule the closing. The closing will be about 2 to 3 weeks after you send it in. And then 2 to 3 weeks after you send it in, you will receive that $7,000 wire or check for your bank account 2 to 3 weeks after you send it in. It's that simple. The title company handles all of that stuff with the seller and the buyer. And again, the beauty of this is you just made $7,000 and you never own the land. That's the beauty of this. You didn't use your own money. You didn't take ownership. You simply connected the 2 parties and got paid for facilitating the transaction. Seller gets their cash, builder gets their land, and you walk away with $5,000 to $10,000 in profit. And you can close bigger deals. I didn't mention it because it's not every day we do these deals, but we've taught students to close over $150,000 deals. We've made 9 deals over 6 figures in profit, so over $100,000 on one singular deal. We've closed a $191,000 profit deal on one piece of land. We've closed a $200,000 deal and a $210,000 profit deal on one singular deal. So you can absolutely be closing big deals with this as well. But the standard is $5,000 to $10,000 profit per deal. And if you can get yourself to doing 7 to 8 to 9 of those per month, just 2 a week, you can be making $1 million per year doing this business model. $0 of your money invested into the deal, 2 to 3 weeks to get paid, average profit $8,000. And the next steps is just putting this knowledge that I taught you into action. So I've taught you how to get into land wholesaling. I've taught you the steps that there is to do. I told you that you need to go find a seller. I told you that you need to go pull a list. I told you that you need to go get the phone numbers. I told you that you need to mass outreach. I told you that you need to negotiate. I told you that you need to make offers. I told you that you need to find a builder. I told you that you need to reach out to a title company. I told you that it's time to get paid, and I told you how to do the whole process A to Z. Now, it's up to you to actually go and do the work. You're not going to wake up and magically have millions of dollars in your account. You're not going to wake up and magically be rich. You're not going to wake up and magically have location and time freedom. You have to put in the work. I always saw this life that I was living. My brother always saw this life that I was living. I believed in myself, and I knew that I would make it happen. I just never knew how. And then when I found this avenue, I was like, wow, I can be putting all my time, effort, and energy into this business model, and it's not going to be spitting me out $15 an hour like it was at my other job. It's going to be spitting me out infinite amount of money depending on the work that I can put into this. If I have a chance to make $100,000 on one phone call, why would I not sit there and grind and work at this all day? And that's made me over $5 million in the past 3 years. So learning about an opportunity like this could be life-changing for you. Learning about an opportunity like this could double your income. Learning about an opportunity like this could let you have vacations with your family. Learning about an opportunity like this could let you be working from anywhere in the world while you're sitting next to, sitting with your wife and kids at a hotel on your laptop, closing deals, and they can sit there and be proud of their father because you're sitting there making a bunch of money, not having to work that hard, and you can just live the life that you've always wanted to do, right? It's not fair that I'm 22 years old and I have all of my dream cars, I live in my dream house, I'm able to hang out with my family whenever I want, and I don't say that to be arrogant. I don't say that to boast. I don't say that to brag. I'm telling you that it's not fair that today's day and age, that there's all these things and opportunities at your footstep, at your disposal, and for you to not take action and do those things so that you can live the life that you deserve to live and know that you deserve to live, it's doing a disservice to yourself. So at the end of the day, there can be the best opportunity in the world that goes by you. There can be the best opportunity ever that I present to you. But if you never take action on it, nothing's going to change. If you're happy with where you are, if you're happy with where your income is at, nothing's going to change. It takes you taking the next and working consistently at something into making a change. I've never seen somebody get into this business model, stick to it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, working at it every single day, and not be very successful in this business. And very successful in this business to me is over 40K a month profit. That's $500,000 a year. $500,000 a year working for yourself, running your own company, having freedom to do whatever you want. I could sleep until noon tomorrow if I wanted. I could sleep until noon tomorrow if I wanted, work for a couple hours, and have an opportunity to make $25,000 on one deal. That's not fair that you have to go to a 9 to 5, make 15, 20, 30, 40 bucks an hour, and then go home at 8 p.m. so you can shower, go to bed, get up at 8 a.m. and do it again. It's not fair. And you have the opportunity to change the circumstance. So this is the opportunity that I'm presenting to you here. The next thing that you can do is just to take action. That's it. Those are the 6 simple steps to closing your first 10K deal. You have the exact system. These are the steps that you can execute your first land deal, and not only your first land deal, but get this to doing 10 deals a month, but get this to doing 20 deals a month, but get this to doing 30 deals a month. The next step is actually implementation. Use what I just taught you and learn what you want on your own timeline. All the information has been provided in this training, but it takes you actually doing it. So, like I said, why am I teaching you this? We have a program, we have a community where we have students doing joint venture deals together. And real student results, just real quickly, Grayson is 21 years old. He plans on making over $1 million this year. His team has already cash collected $567,000. I believe this interview I did with him was in August this year. Brad, I'm doing about 2 to 3 deals per week, give or take about 30K profit per month. Most of my deals being JVs in the community. I mentioned to you guys, why are we teaching this? Why are we actually showing you how to do this? We have a community. I mentioned students a couple times. We have a community. There's over $1 million a month in profit going through that community in JV joint venture deals. A JV joint venture deal is when, let's say, I have a seller at 50K. I can't sell it to anybody, but I think it's worth 70. I text in the community in the JV section, and somebody says, oh no, I have a builder there for 70. We split the deal 50-50. I make 10 grand that I wouldn't have otherwise. He makes 10 grand that he wouldn't have otherwise. We split the deal. We each make a 10K profit. Brad's doing most of his deals through JVs, doing about 30K a month, which is crazy. About 10 deals a month just through the community. Grayson's doing about $80,000 to $90,000 a month in profit every single month and growing. And Caleb has done over $400,000 this year already. Started in high school, closed a $150,000 deal, $180,000 deal. And again, just using the same exact framework that I just showed you there. The same exact process. Flipping vacant land to home builders using the mass outreach system that I'm teaching you guys here. So it's absolutely insane. It's working today. It's working today, right now, in this month where people are starting. Last month, we had 4 people start. Within their first 3 weeks, they made over $13,000 in profit. It's just absolutely insane what's happening right now. But again, nothing's going to change if you guys don't go ahead and start. So if you want to go ahead and book in a call to work with us more directly and join the community and be a part of our program and be a part of all these other people that are crushing it, have access to them, work with them, start closing deals immediately, just have a little bit more help to push you over the edge to get this going, to get this scaled a lot quicker and faster, to start closing bigger deals, whatever help you need. You can click the first link in the description to book a call right now with our team to speak with you to see if you're a good fit to get started. But everybody that's been here and stayed with me through this, I appreciate every single one of you guys coming, and I look forward to hopefully working with every single one of you. I'll see you on the next one. If you haven't yet, go ahead and like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next video.